Hey shredders, I got a new axe. Let's have a look in the box, shall we? And look, it's already plugged in. So this is my brand new Wolfgang special quilted maple in solar. And I am absolutely delighted with it. The decision about which instrument to purchase is one I agonized over for a few weeks. And some of you will remember the poll that I put up a few weeks ago asking you guys to help me choose the color. And this was an option, but it definitely was not the most popular option. So what I wanted to do today is not only show off this brand new guitar, but show you the process that led to me choosing this guitar. So this Helix preset I'm using is the Carnal preset that you can purchase from my website. It's great for the whole and you can buy a ton of other Van Halen presets there as well. So I decided quite a while ago that at some point I'm going to need to buy a Wolfgang style guitar, especially for a little project I have in the works. And the exciting thing with a Wolfgang guitar is there's so many different routes you can take. So the obvious choice is just to get an EVH Guitars Wolfgang because they're current, they're in production, there's zillions of color combinations, there's different price points. But what really made me want a Wolfgang style guitar was the Right Here, Right Now concert where Eddie's using his Music Man, that yellow quilted Music Man. And I think for many of us, that's our kind of dream EVH 90s guitar. And I looked into those and they're obviously super expensive. So I thought, well, I'll look at getting an Axis, which is basically the same thing, right? And those are super expensive as well. I'm sure they're great guitars. But while I was really tempted to splurge on a guitar like that, I knew that the Wolfgang guitar is not going to be my #1 guitar of all time. I have expensive guitars and I love them and I gig with them. This guitar for me was not one I was ever going to do a world tour with. I wanted it purely to make content with. Plus, when I was fishing around on Reverb for a nice little Axis, I found a few from the 90s and, you know, they looked fine. Everything checked out. But looking at the photos, I felt sad. And when I look at something and I feel sad, that's not a good sign to me. If the professional photo of it makes me feel sad, then I know the instrument in person will probably make me feel sad and I won't want to play it. I know that sounds really woo-woo, but sometimes you've just got to listen to your heart, you know? And I didn't want to pay double the price of this for a guitar that makes me feel sad. Although I'm sure it would have been great. And if I was really diehard 90s Van Halen, then maybe I would. And I still can in the future too. Who knows, I might become one of those Wolfgang guys who has like 19 Wolfgangs. I suspect Mrs. Shreds would have a thing or two to say about that though. So as well as many of you recommending the Music Man option, some of you recommended the Peavey. So I thought, well, let's check out the Peavey. And I did find a few Peaveys, but I was still looking at paying a lot more. And when you're looking at forking out a ton of money for a guitar that you've never played, suddenly buying a brand new guitar from a store seems quite appealing, especially if that's half the price. So after umming and ahhing about all these options, I thought, no, let's just keep it simple and stick to an EVH Wolfgang. I've played one before, I know what they're like, they're not too expensive. If something's wrong with it, I can take it back to the shop, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, let's just go to Modern Musician and buy a brand new Wolfgang. So I did play a few of the cheaper models and they really didn't do it for me. The special version with the bulgy top just felt nicer, and I think the cheaper ones aren't made in Mexico, whereas these ones are. And I believe you can really feel the quality difference. I do plan on doing a video about that in future, about the quality difference of guitars and where they're manufactured and what difference it makes, because there's a lot of content out there that says it doesn't matter where it's made, you know, you can make a cheap guitar sound great. And while yes, that's true, there is a reason great guitars still exist and people are happy to pay for them. So then it was just a choice of what color. So the poll I put up was quite helpful, but it was helpful in the way that, you know, like when your wife comes out, she says, should I wear this dress or this dress? And you say, that one. And then she comes out 5 minutes later wearing that one. It's the same kind of thought process. I am the wife in this situation saying, hey guys, which color should I get? And most of you said to go for the purple quilted maple, which is actually the very guitar I used in my Van Hagar medley about 6 months back. By asking you that, it helped me clarify which one I wanted, even though it was not the most popular. In fact, I think this was the least popular of the 4 options on there. But I do like this one because it's closer to the yellow of the Right Here, Right Now concert. What a great concert that is. Imagine if we had more Van Halen concerts filmed in that quality. Like, you know, something from 1984 in that quality would just be a gift from God. And one thing I preferred about the solar versus the purple is the pickups have the white-black combo in this model, whereas they didn't in the purple one. I think they did in the sparkle purple, but in the quilted maple they didn't. So, you know, I know this sounds lame, but the aesthetic of a guitar does matter to me. The color of it and the way it makes me feel when I pick it up. I also really love the contrast of the brown on the back and then with the stripe going around with the orange on the front. I think it's just such a classy look and classy feature. And I also love the little recess they have under the D tuner. Just these little features make it feel very premium in my eyes. The bridge is actually really solid so far. I was considering upgrading it to the German Floyd Rose, but I think I might just leave it as it is for now and we'll see how it goes. I tell you what though, the feel of this is so radically different from the Strat-based EVH guitars. I think the bridge being so far back means the whole guitar is kind of back here. And so where my neutral point on my 5150 striped might be much higher, this one is much lower. I don't think I prefer it, but I do find it interesting and amusing. By the way, I found this shape of guitar so ugly for so many years. I thought EVH had these great guitars in the 80s and then the 90s he like changed everything and went to this kind of small, thick body. But like many things, it grew on me. And honestly, I felt somewhat blasphemous using my 5150 to play Pound Cake or Amsterdam. It's like, ugh, that's wrong, you can't do that. It's like putting spaghetti and ice cream together. And I know that they use the same pickup and it's the same scale length and the ear can't tell the difference, but I can tell the difference. So I'm very excited to have my very own Wolfgang to be able to play all that 90s Van Halen stuff authentically. It's also cool having a neck pickup in an EVH guitar. So it's still quite a hot pickup as demonstrated with those pinch harmonics at the end there. But it gets that really nice throaty EVH lead guitar tone where he used the neck pickup for the majority of the solos, especially on the Balance album. One other reason I chose the solo over the purple is the purple is very dark and my camera had a harder time picking it up. I know that's such a vapid reason for choosing a guitar, but I'm going to be using this to film at least 1 trillion videos. So I want a guitar that shows up really nicely on camera. I was tempted to get a black PV style Wolfgang. I thought that would have been so cool with the black headstock and everything, but then I remembered that I'm getting it to film on and I use a black background, so it'll just look like even more black. I do think they look great though. It's funny though, because as that poll I made demonstrates, colour is so subjective. Taste is so subjective. I remember I showed my wife all the different colour combinations I could get and that I wanted this one and she went, oh, that one? You want that one? And I'm sure many of you out there probably agree with my wife, as you do on many things. Whereas some people were like, oh yeah, definitely get that one. That's the only one you can get. And so I think the lesson there is, I know we all probably silently judge someone when they buy an instrument with a colour scheme that we would never get and we go, ugh, why would you get that? That is horrid. But they're probably thinking that about the colour combination you have. So live and let live with guitar colours. So do you have a Wolfgang? Do you have a Music Man? Do you have a PV? Do you have an EVH? Do you have all three? If you do, please let me know which one is better. I might still upgrade and buy one of the super legit ones in future. I do wholeheartedly believe that American guitars are generally better, at least in my experience. So who knows, maybe one day I'll splash out and get even a USA EVH model, or a PV, or a Music Man. Now obviously I really enjoy discussing guitars on this channel. At last count, this is guitar number 17 in my collection, and I've got another 16 here that I could share with you, so maybe I'll make a little video on that if you want. Let me know in the comments. I really love this guitar, it's exceeded my expectations, and I'm so excited to get to work with it, create some covers, create some lessons, but most importantly, a big creation that's coming that I'll let you know about soon. Hopefully it'll be a great workhorse for many years to come. All right, shredders, thanks for watching. Check out one of these other videos.